9th year as a head coach.
A grizzled veteran, you might say.
Grizzled veteran, to say the least.
He's one of my favorites. All right, Sebastian Janikowski will kick it away. And he sails it into the end zone. They're going to down it just barely. Whoa. Larry Foster, almost a big rookie mistake.
And a good job. 30, Corey Schlesinger, the coach and the personal protector back there, tell him to stay in the end zone.
And another thing, I think that's something the fans wanted to see, and also the coaches. Janikowski put the ball into the end zone.
Mike Tomczak is the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions and should play throughout most of the first half.
You know, it seems like he's been around forever. This is what, his 16th year?
16 years.
I guess he has been around forever.
You're right. Schlesinger and Stewart are the running backs. Zach opens up, going deep into double coverage. He overthrows the intended receiver. Charles Woodson was there for the defense. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Now let's.
Those are the largest offensive line in the NFL.
How about America, including college, everywhere?
Even Nebraska.
Yes.
Quick drop, quick out, far side. Pass is complete. Tight end, Walter Rasby. Woodson with the stop. And let's check out the Raiders. Upshaw, Jackson, Russell, and Taves. Taves starting for Johnstone, who will not play. Barton, Beekert, and Alexander are the linebackers. And the secondary, Woodson, Dorsett, Pope, and Allen.
You know, Charlie and Jim, the first 2 plays of the game now, the Lions have come out and gone after Charles Woodson.
And I noticed that last week in Dallas, they didn't shy away from number 24, Charles Woodson, at all.
Cedric Urban is now in to the offensive set. 3 receivers. Tomczak scrambles. He's going to be sacked. Caught from behind. Couldn't get out of the pocket. Grady Jackson got him.
You know, Charlie, Detroit coming out with 3 straight passes. Very unusual for Bobby Ross coach football team. He likes
And that's going to make Chuck Bresnahan happy because 3rd down defense has not been one of the stronger suits this year so far.
Darian Gordon is the return man. John Jett is the kicker. He waves everybody off. Stay away from it. And he picks it up on the hop. Not a particularly wise decision. And set the ball at the 41-yard line. And the Oakland Raiders will move on offense for the first time. Rich Gannon will bring out the offense.
And Rich Gannon is probably going to get a little bit more playing time tonight than he has in the first 2 preseason games. And he's probably going to go a quarter, maybe a little bit more tonight.
And he'll have a better supporting cast, though, with Ricky Dudley, Hoffman, and Wheatley in the lineup.
And Tim Brown.
And Tim Brown, absolutely.
First down at the 41-yard line. Tyrone Wheatley and John Ritchie are the setbacks. Tim Brown comes across in motion. And the Raiders open up throwing. Going back underneath the coverage. Ball pops loose. It's a fumble. Did the ground cause it? No. It's a clean fumble. It was Ricky Dudley, the tight end, starting his first ball game in preseason, and he lost control of it. Jones was scrambling after him and the ball.
And, one of the things I talked to John Gruden in the locker room before the game, he said, Ricky Dudley at first was only going to play a quarter, now maybe a whole half. But according to Gruden, he needed more. He needed this kind of practice because he's missed so much in preseason.
We'll be back in just a moment.
After reviewing the play, the field stands. The ruling on the field stands.
The Oakland 46-yard line, first down. Stewart is the remaining back, and he carries. And there's absolutely nothing there. And you can precede the word nothing with minus. Darrell Russell leading the defense. For 2nd and 11, no running back. Pump fake comes back underneath the coverage. It is incomplete. Greg Beekert bumping. That's Kriplovich from Notre Dame. 3rd down, 11, 3 wide receivers. Second 3rd down opportunity for Tomczak. And he goes deep and overthrows the intended receiver who had cut off the pattern. Johnny Morton, formerly with USC. Eric Allen had the coverage for the Raiders. And so once again, the defense of the Oakland Raiders stymies the offense of Detroit, and the Lions will have to kick it away.
And It's going to make Chuck Bresnahan smile.
Darian Gordon is the return man. He waves everybody away again. And it will be by the Detroit Lions. Barrett Green makes.
And the secondary position, because each one of those positions have 10 guys that's battling for spots. Back to you, Charlie.
All right, George, hang there a minute. I want to ask you a question in a couple of minutes about the cut down date. Raiders first down at their own 21-yard line. Rich Gannon, the quarterback. And he sets the throw again. He comes right back, same play to Ricky Dudley. Let's take a look now at the offensive set for the Oakland Raiders. Stinchcomb, Wisniewski, Robbins, Collins, and Kennedy. That offensive line. Backs and receivers, Whitley, Ritchie, Tim Brown, James Jett, and Ricky Dudley.
But I thought that was very good of Rich Gannon to come right back to Ricky Dudley, not let him lose his confidence.
Second down and 4, and that's important for a quarterback, isn't it?
And a tight end such as Ricky Dudley.
Raiders want to see what's on the ground, and they've got a first down. Tyrone Wheatley. And now let's look at the offense of Detroit. As you see, no score in the ball game. Forshea, Jones, Pritchett, Scroggin, Aldridge, Boyd, and Claiborne, the linebackers. Westbrook, Schultz, Brown, and Fair in the secondary. First down, 32-yard line. Tim Brown in motion. Counter back. Tyrone Wheatley. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down. Terry Fair made the tackle. I want to ask George what it was like for him in his rookie year when he faced that first cut down date the game before, what it was like.
Well, you know, Charlie, it was nerve-wracking. The night before, you know that you got a cut-down date coming. You don't know where you stand. The coaches don't give you a real indication, and you have to pray that the old hawk don't come and cut you. It's really nerve-wracking, and a lot of these guys, I'm pretty sure when this game is over, when they go home, they'll be home wondering what's going to happen for them next. Back to you.
All right, thank you. That's the way that it is, and that's the way they feel. Gannon comes to the near side. He comes to Tim Brown, and they pick up the first down. Bryant Westbrook had the coverage for Detroit.
It's no fun for the coaches either to cut guys down, because what you're doing, you're firing guys. And again, the grizzled vets like a Bobby Ross, probably it's easier for the guy who's attached to his team like a John Gruden. It's difficult. As you see, Tim Brown have no problem making this team run a little bit of an out there and get out of bounds.
Detroit has had 2 possessions, 4 and out and 4 and out. In offensively in the first possession, 3 yards. Offensively in their second possession, -1. Raiders' problem was an early fumble, and this one, oh, he gets away with it. He absolutely gets away with grounding the ball. The void
Neighborhood.
Yeah, that's and that's the work of a veteran quarterback.
You bet.
Avoiding that loss. 3-step drop, pump fake. Down back underneath to Wheatley. Across the 50, 49-yard line of Detroit.
One of the characteristics of the John Gruden offense is to throw the football to the backs. John Ritchie had 45 receptions last year. Look for the tailback position with Wheatley and Napoleon Kaufman to get more catches this year, as Gannon sidearms it to Wheatley, and Wheatley runs away from the defense.
And the one thing about Rich Gannon is he keeps the ball going forward.
Yes,
you know,
he does.
Can find somebody, even if it's a 2-3 yard gain, at least it's a positive gain.
Third down. Gannon sidearm over the middle, tight end, Ricky Dudley.
The Raiders like to shift people around a great deal.
At the Detroit 40-yard line, first down, still no score in the ball game. Fake to the first back, give us to the second back through is now Napoleon Kaufman. Scroggins with the tackle for the Lions. 4 wide receivers, here comes the blitz. It is picked up well, and the pass is incomplete. Napoleon Kaufman picked up the blitz, nice block.
And he
By those 2 gentlemen, Wheatley and Napoleon Kaufman.
Third down and 8. If they don't pick up the first down, believe me, you'll see Janikowski. Gannon rolling right. Little pump fake, cuts back and slides, and he's got it. He's going to pick it up. The first down with a yard, maybe fair. Stephen Boyd was there finally to cover him for Detroit. Nice move.
And I think once again, Napoleon Kaufman helped with that block down the field. Or is it Randy Jordan? I believe it was Randy Jordan that threw a block down the field. A great job. And there's Rich Gannon showing why Gruden likes him so much, because he can adjust and come up with a big run for a first down.
Last week against the Cowboys, Raider quarterbacks rushed for over 75 yards between Gannon and Bobby Hoying.
First down at the 28-yard line. He just rushed for. Here's Kaufman on the left side. Not a lot there. Line of scrimmage, and that's it. Chris Claiborne cuts him down.
Football League. Looking at Larry Peccatel, the defensive coordinator, who said prior to the game, boy, I wish I had about 10 of those Chris Claiborne types.
Second down, play action fake. Here's the pressure, and that's it. Defense led by Stephen Boyd, and Rich Gannon takes the sack.
And the Lions are coming after the Raiders. I don't feel like Phil being able to stop them with just a form.
Gannon keeps both backs in to block. Then he goes deep down the far side. And we'll have a flag in the end zone. James Jett, the intended receiver. Terry Fair will take the call.
You know, I think it's Rich Gannon's first throw up the field in the preseason. I think he underestimated just how quick James Jett could get down there. He underthrew a little bit. But this what happens oftentimes when the ball is underthrown. The back doesn't know where the ball is, and he runs over the top of the receiver.
Runs right through it.
And
Pass interference. Defense number 23 in the end zone. The ball is placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
the Lions.
First down goal to go at the Detroit 1-yard line. A 34-yard penalty from the 35. And remember, it was third down and 17. Napoleon Kaufman, he will not go in. He is stymied right at the line of scrimmage. Or was that Randy Jordan? That was Randy Jordan.
You know, and here's one of the areas, obviously, we've talked about it the first two preseason games that the Raiders have to get better at, and that's short yardage and goal line. And here that Randy Jordan was thrown for a 1-yard loss there.
You know, Jim, you almost have to throw the ball a little bit these days down there because people cheat on the goal line. And by cheat, I'm talking about, Charlie, committing 9 and 10 guys to the run. Sometimes it's tough to punch it in, even from the 1 or 2.
Little play action fake. Quarterback rolls right, steps back, throws it away. You know, they could get him for intentionally grounding on that one too, because there wasn't anybody near. He had been outside the tackles and then back in. But once you go over the end zone, very rarely is it called.
Right, and you know, and it's
third down. Kaufman slips to the outside. Charlie, it's Jordan. Number 28, Randy Jordan with the touchdown.
A little power play, and the Raiders outmanned the Lions at the point of attack as they ran away from the 2 tight end set on the wing. That time by John Gruden and Bill Callahan and Jim Erkenbeck, the offensive coach.
79-yard drive in 16 plays. Janikowski with the extra point, and it is good. And the Oakland Raiders take the early lead over the Detroit Lions by a score of 7-0. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. He's done that this year. He nails this one. It's a low pulled in at the 2-yard line by Larry Foster. Foster out to the 20. Nice return across the 25 and down around the 28-yard line. We have the Raiders out in front of the Detroit Lions by a score of 7-0. We'll be back. A yard out.
Mr. Versatility on this team, and it's Mr. Davis's team as he looks over, and he loves guys like a Randy Jordan because Al Davis knows the type of contribution a guy like a Randy Jordan can make to this football team.
Thus far in the ball, 5:14 left in the first. The Detroit Lions total offense is a plus 2 yards. And they'll probably add, they may not even add a yard to that here. The defense of the Raiders has looked exceptionally strong in the first quarter, Jim.
in the last 2 weeks, as a matter of fact, against Dallas, they doubled them up in total offense. And tonight, once again, the Raiders seem to be shining on defense, stuffing the run for sure, making them have to throw the football.
Seem like they're playing more physical tonight, too. And pumped up because they knew the beef that they were going against in this Detroit offense.
James Stewart, the remaining back, 3 wide receivers, pass a little tall. For Johnny Morton, Eric Allen had the coverage.
You know, as we mentioned, Mike Tomczak goes back, 16 years. Started with Chicago, I think a year in Cleveland, 1 in Green Bay, and the last 6 with the Pittsburgh Steelers prior to coming to Detroit. But he told me a story that I'd like to relate about him and Mike Ditka a little bit later. It's pretty interesting.
We will allow.
Thank you.
All right.
Does it have some swearing and some punching? And
Oh, no.
3rd down and 10. Urban, the remaining back, passing formation, 3 wide receivers. Flag is down. Tomczak is chased, throws on the run. There's nobody nearby except the black jerseys of the Raiders. Let's see what the flag's about.
this is going to be an illegal procedure against the Detroit Lions. A lot of moving going on and a lot of moving right when the ball was snapped. Looked like some confusion in the formation.
I think it's going to be an illegal formation because if there was motion, they'd get the down over.
Yeah.
That was good pressure, though.
Offense. The tailback and the wide receiver were moving at the same time. The penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
You're right.
Bobby Ross is not going to like that, and it looks like Tomczak was trying to change the play, and not everybody got it. But it's another stop for the Raiders on 3rd down.
Now after 3 possessions, Detroit's total offense is still 2 yards. John Jett kicking to Darian Gordon. Not a good kick at all. End over end, taken at the 39-yard line. Looks for a hole, has one. See where they're going to mark it down. He got to about the 44-yard line before Core and Brown hit him, and they brought him back. They'll mark him down somewhere past the 40. Let's see, about the 42 possibly.
And it's good to see Darian Gordon playing again. He sat out last week because of an injured ankle. To see him back there with his sure hands returning punts for the Raiders.
Let's take a look at Rich Gannon.
Here's Rich once again making those quick decisions that Coach Gruden likes, getting rid of the ball, getting out of trouble, picking up a 1st down on the run, all the things that brought Gannon here for Gruden. And here's once again Rich throwing the ball out of the end zone, so it's not intercepted, and they've got good field position.
Fakes, pumps, throws underneath the coverage. Goes to his tight end, Ricky Dudley. Chris Claiborne with the tackle.
You saw the
Are they going to Dudley on 1st down every series?
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? He's a big target. Look at this guy. When you draw up a tight end in the sand, you think of Ricky Dudley. But the problem the Raiders are having now.
Hold it.
When you draw up a tight end
in the sand?
Yeah.
You make castles in the sand.
But this guy looks like the perfect tight end. And I was going to say, the problem is that the linebackers from the Lions are so fast that react underneath tight passes. You never heard that before, huh, Charlie?
No. Tyrone Wheatley.
All your years of broadcasting, you've never heard that before?
No, because it's a metaphor that applies to perhaps beach volleyball.
Anyway, he is a great looking.
Sure what metaphor means.
I'm not either. He used to play for a team I coached once. But all I know is this guy's a great looking tight end, and the Raiders want to make him as big a part of the offense as possible.
Now, is he wearing those earpieces, those sound earpieces? We'll tell you about those. They're down in 6. Detroit should be offside. Yeah. 3 plays. This will not be a 1st down. Tim Brown coming across, but they'll get the penalty, 5 yards and another down. Marquise Walker, or the Lions, was there.
And a good job of the offense holding their count.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, though, that short pass down and 7 yards to go, and they throw a 5-yard route.
Number 97, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Tracy Scroggins in the neutral zone.
Trying to cheat a little bit as he lines up against Matt Stinchcomb. But I agree with what you said. That's a great job by the Raider offensive line, especially Matt Stinchcomb, of maintaining his discipline and not jumping.
So spot the ball at the Detroit 49-yard line.
Take a look at Stinchcomb here, the redshirt freshman, as I call him. It's really his first year, even though it's his 2nd year in the NFL. It's first starting.
3rd down, about 1.5 yards for the 1st down. Tyrone Wheatley inside the 45. Marlon Aldridge with the tackle. First down, Raiders. They once again convert on third down. They're now 4 for 4.
And Tyrone Wheatley did not play a week ago because of a bruised shin. He's back. He looks very good. That run almost, although it was much shorter, was almost reminiscent of that touchdown run he got against Kansas City in the last game of the season.
A power play, as you see, with coming right at you with Zach Crockett. 2 blockers up in the hole, creates a seam for Wheatley to get through. That's called violent power running by Tyrone Wheatley.
Kaufman, the remaining back. And not a lot there. 2, maybe 3 yards. That's going to be about all that Napoleon can pick up. Tracy Scroggins, the tackle for the Lions.
In this sequence you're seeing, Wheatley one play, Kaufman the next play, is what Raider fans are going to see all year. Because as you pointed out, they complement each other. The power back in Wheatley, the speed back in Kaufman. Bill Callahan, offensive coordinator, offensive linemen love him because he's a down and dirty, and he's a great coach, and I mean that in all the positive vein I can.
Ricky Dudley stays in the block. Gannon scampers out, gets away from the pressure. Kicked his way out of the grasp of 2 would-be tacklers at the 29-yard line, and then he looked up. Okay, that's enough. I'll take the slide at the 26. Has the first down.
And he avoided the tackle of Stephen Boyd, the middle linebacker, who came on a blitz, got out of the way, stepped up, and picked up some positive yards in the first down. And Stephen Boyd led the Detroit Lions last year with 188 tackles. It's a good job by Rich Gannon.
Well, it's so dangerous, as we all know, when a guy can run, but he's so smart in where he runs and how he runs.
First down at the 26 line. Play action fake. Bootleg. Has it. 20-yard line. Just kind of coasts out of bounds with a first down at the 14. So you can add 12 more to his total.
And offensively, they're keeping the Detroit Lions completely off balance. Power running game, a speed back in Napoleon Kaufman, Rich Gannon bootlegging just then, throwing the ball to Ricky Dudley underneath. I mean, they're doing all the things that you draw up on the board in the chalk room.
And we got to remember now, Gannon rushed last year, guys, for 300 yards. So he was the 3rd leading rusher on this Raider football team. He's a weapon, and Gruden's using him.
Kaufman, he's going to lose a couple of yards. Mark it at the 15-yard line rather than the 14. All right, we come to the end of the first quarter in a fast-moving ball game. Oakland leads. Back in a moment.
That's right.
Yeah. By the way, Gannon, as you saw a moment ago, has rushed 3 times for 36 yards. He has thrown, he's completed 6 of 9 for 32 yards. So he's outrushed his arm by 4 yards, 36 to 32. And he's going to throw here. Has good protection, waits too long, and a flag goes down. Travis Kerskey makes the stop for the Detroit Lions. He'll get credit back.
You know, on that time, I think Rich held on to the ball a little bit too long. He either should have taken off a little sooner or gotten rid of the ball.
It's not a holding foul.
He said it wasn't a holding foul, right?
He said it wasn't, I think, because of the sack.
You're going to take a look at the pressure, and you see Kerskey, number 67, working his way up the field against Steve Wisniewski in what we call a bull rush. And he got around. I think Steve Wisniewski expected Gannon to take off, but obviously he didn't.
3rd down and 15.
And this is another area of the field where, you know, teams practice, called the red zone, inside the 30, 20 yards for some teams, when they feel they have to come away with some points, either a field goal or a touchdown.
And I think the Raiders' philosophy's got to change a little bit this year, because you want to just get closer and let that Polish cannon kick a field goal if you don't score.
Gannon steps forward. He is grabbed from behind. He throws incomplete. Scroggins had a fistful of jersey. Wheatley was close to being the recipient, and here comes Sebastian Janikowski.
And now this is his first time kicking on soil here tonight against the Lions, especially now the infield. He's never kicked off an infield before. He played at Florida State where they had AstroTurf. In high school, it was all AstroTurf. So this is really a new experience for Sebastian Janikowski.
From the 27-yard line, an attempt at 37 yards. Gannon is the holder. Off of the skin part of the infield. And it is good from 37 yards out. And the Raiders stretch the margin to 10-0. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment.
Dreisbeck or Rodney Peete for that number 3 position.
Janikowski to kick it away. Foster moves up and takes it at the 9-yard line. The return is across the 20. There's a flag down on the play. Foster's down around the 27-yard line. The flag is back at the 32. It's on the far side. Normally, that is offsides on the kicking team.
You better believe it is. I mean, that's the only thing it probably can be. And it'll be interesting to see if the Lions take the ball in decent field position on about the 27.
Polish character.
Yeah, the Polish cannon. He is a character, and he's got all the things that make folk heroes, like you say.
And from 5 yards away, he kicks it to about the same spot. Foster on the return, breaks it clean out to the 40-yard line, to the 50, cuts back, still at the 40, a flag down back at the 31-yard line. An outstanding return. J-Rod Cherry finally makes the stop. There are 2 flags, one at around the 27-yard line, the other at the 31-yard line on the return.
And just as we were talking, Raiders had to run down on another kick, and the Lions can't play on the return. But
total offense with 14 minutes to go in the first half for Detroit. Total offense 2 yards. For the Raiders, 82 yards. First down, Detroit at their 17-yard line. James Stewart is the ball carrier. And we've got flags down. Johnny Harris with the tackle.
Tackle by Johnny Harris, number 37. Big old Stocker McDougal and the rest of that Lion offensive line.
First down and about 19 yards to go. Tomczak at the goal line. Dumps it off way underneath the coverage to Stewart. Maybe a couple of yards on the play. Maybe not even that. Darrell Russell with the tackle.
One of the things that I think is going to help this Raider football team is if the offense can put on points early in the ball game. But if the Raiders, and I'll finish this after the play.
Second down and long. Tomczak throwing very quickly. Pass is complete to Schlesinger. He's out to the 19-yard line. Johnny Harris with the tackle at the 19. Gain of 7, so it's going to be third down and still around 8 yards to go for the first down.
Another good play by Johnny Harris coming up and making the play and trying to swipe the ball out of his arms right there and cause a fumble. But still coming up with a big play for Johnny Harris and give him another opportunity to be seen in front of the coaches.
The Raiders secondary, especially in nickel situations like the last play and this play, are doing an excellent job of taking away the deep routes.
Urban, the remaining back. Incomplete.
Greg Biekert on the coverage. Now, Biekert is not known for his speed, but what he did that time, he took a great angle and he forced the running back to the sidelines, not allowing him to the inside. You'll see that to the left of your screen here, and that's an excellent job by Greg Biekert, who is not known for his speed, but the angles that time created the incomplete pass by the veteran from the University of Colorado.
Darian Gordon again to return the punt. John Jett to kick it away has not been very effective. This is a pretty good kick. Gordon gives about 10 yards and has it. Swings back to the 26-yard line, has an opening. Cuts back, move 40, needs a block, has it down the sideline. And then out of bounds. Good return. And flags are flying.
You got to see coach, special teams coach Bob Casula jumping up and down that sidelines. He was really happy with that return. And it's one of the things he's been emphasizing, sideline to sideline returns. He wants to set up a
foul against Detroit. He'll tack it to the end of the run.
Personal foul. Sir, roughness by the kicking team, number 52. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's a great job by Darian Gordon to get into the wall that time. And it's going to make this guy really unhappy because that's an ignorant foul.
10-0 Raiders.
Raiders have a score to settle with their division rivals. Last October, the Seahawks squeaked by 22-21. Will Mike Holmgren's heroes survive the Raiders? The final tune-up before the regular season. The Raiders take on the Seahawks Thursday night at 9, exclusively on KICU 36, where the commitment to excellence continues.
I get paid, I get benefits, and I get training all at the same time.
You could be training in the NECA IBEW Apprentice Program, too.
Apprentices that are in this program learning a trade will earn in excess of $200,000 while they're learning their trade.
While I'm learning, I'm going to be getting excellent pay now, but in the future, on-the-job training, and at the end of this program, I'm going to make a heck of a lot of pay.
Calling it all the details on how you can train for a well-paid, secure future.
It's definitely a program to get into.
This world-class event is a winner. Toyota's 2000 clearance. Big selection of new Toyotas and big clearance values. Are you ready to go for it? Great year-end values like a 2000 4Runner with $500 cash back or a special lease. Get to this world-class clearance event now at your Toyota dealer.
Darian Gordon's return. Kowalkowski with a late hit.
Get the football and get it to the wall. Gordon takes it to the wall. Corwin Brown, number 44, misses him in the open field, but that's a hard tackle. And then you see the 15-yard penalty here at the end. Special teams coach Bob Cassell, careful, he's going to pull a muscle jumping up and down in the air, but he's excited, and that's the kind of coaching you need to coach special teams. A lot of enthusiasm.
Rodney Peete is the quarterback. He hands off to Gerald Moore. From the 27 to the 25, a couple of yards on the play. Westbrook with a stop for Detroit.
And one of the reasons why I think they want to get Rodney Peete in the first half so he can play the first offensive line, the first unit, so he can get some protection. He's been in the league for 12 years. He's been banged up over the years, so it affords him a little bit more protection.
6th-round draft choice in 1999 by these Detroit Lions and started 47 games for the Lions. Out of the University of Southern California. He used to be my scout team quarterback, Jim, way back when. Taught him everything he knows.
Well, he knows how to hold on to the ball when he takes the sack.
And despite that, Artie's still playing.
Yes.
Stephen Boyd gets the sack on Rodney Peete.
Well, obviously, there's some type of breakdown in the offensive line because Boyd came completely clean. From the left of your screen, Gerald Moore goes to the outside. Boyd delay blitzes and comes a step late, which ends up making the sack.
This is what we expect to see as a quarterback rotation. Rich Gannon, who we've seen. Rodney Peete, who is in now for one series, is the call, followed by Bobby Hoy and Scott Dreisbach in the fourth quarter. Peete over the middle, and he is right on target to Chris Fontenot, the tight end. And that'll bring on Sebastian Janikowski.
Looks like Dudley's done for the day.
4th down and 4. They'll go with the field goal attempt. Gannon holding at the 29-yard line, an attempt of 39 yards. Janikowski is hit from 37 yards out. This is, of course, well within his range. And it's right down the middle. So Janikowski is hit from 37 and now from 39 yards out. And the Raiders continue to lead the Lions now 13-0.
New car shopping stressed me out. Then I met this crazy old lady. She said, relax. At Fremont Ford Mazda Nissan, every car is marked with one simple low price. You see your discounted price instantly, like these brand new Mustangs, only $13,795. And look at these super hot Mustangs by Celine.
Now have a cookie with Mama and a new car.
Fremont Ford Mazda Nissan. New owners, new management. Located next to the New Park Mall.
Welcome back. Please get a pen and paper.
Psst. You have an extra pen? Regular or gel ink? Gel. Comfort grip or standard? Comfort. Psst. You have Any paper?
Staples has everything you need for back to school.
Bobby?
You have any chalk? Regular or dust-free?
Want low prices? Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
The Raider Experience live. There's no substitute. Be sure you and your friends are there in person to watch every thrilling moment of the Raiders opener against San Diego September 3rd. Operators are standing by right now at 510-762-2277. The Raider Experience live. You gotta be there. Call 510-2277 or online at www.tickets.com. Do it right now.
10:05, time remaining in the first half. First half dominated by the Oakland Raiders. They lead 13-0. In the 4 previous possessions, Detroit's total offense now stretches to 12 yards, and that's it.
That's an indication of possibly, how good this Raider team is going to be as the season progresses, or finally playing at home this season.
The combination thereof.
Probably.
And a cut-down date on Tuesday.
There's a lot of motivation in this game tonight. A lot of people.
Foster moves up, takes it at the 10-yard line to the 20, 25. Out to the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. And last week, you may recall that Terry Mickens suffered this blow. He ended up with a bruised spinal cord. Sprained neck. Will be in a neck brace, is in one tonight, and he is with George on the sideline. George?
Terry Mickens. And Terry, how you doing? You got injured last week, and kind of give us an overview of how you're doing and what happened to you.
I'm doing a lot better from Sunday. What I sustained was a trauma to my spinal cord. Luckily, there was no seriousness coming in from the x-rays, but I got to wear the next race for about 2 weeks and then go from rehab from there.
Now, when do you expect it back?
Well, it's not expected yet. We're still looking now and running tests, and they range from anywhere from 3 to 10 weeks. I don't know, but I feel pretty good.
Well, thank you. Back to you, Charlie.
All right, the good news is he feels pretty good. Take your time. There's no rush.
Absolutely.
There is no rush at all.
And Tomczak threw a pass down the field. There was holding, and it brought it back another 10 yards.
Yep. So spot the ball back now at the 22-yard line.
You're going to take a look at the offensive line, and you see big old number 72 over there. I think it's Ray Roberts, just grabs Josh Taves and throws him to the ground. It's a good call that time by the officials.
First down and 20. On the delay, here's Stewart. To the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. Marquise the tackle.
We talk about the safeties. The safeties in this Raider defense have got to come up and be able to make plays close to the line of scrimmage. You see Pope come up and make the tackle with number 33, Anthony Dorsett, come over the top. You're looking at what Bobby Ross wants to do on offense, and that's run the ball. But the Raiders aren't letting them get going.
Second down and 7. Here is Stewart, and he is cut down. Down at the 36-yard line. Charles Woodson came in under him.
Woodson can not only cover, but he can come up and make tackles. You don't play in the secondary at the University of Michigan without being able to make tackles. And Woodson comes up and just sort of body blocks Stewart to the ground. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just get the guy with the football down, and that's a good example of Woodson doing that.
Is Stewart still down? We can't tell. The player for Detroit is down on the sideline.
Obviously they can ill afford to lose James Stewart, having brought him over from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They have to, improve that running game. Greg Hill rushed for, a little over 500 yards a year ago, a big drop off from the Barry Sanders days.
All right. While they're working on him on the sideline, we've got a timeout. We'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Silver and Black are back, and your Raider Nation radio station wants to start the party with the Ticket 1050 Raiders Rally 2000. JT the Brick, Bob France, Raider Legends, the entire 2000 Raider squad, and Coach John Gruden at Jack London Square Meadow on Friday, September 1st from 3 to 7. Check out live broadcasts, Mount Davis, live music, food and beverages, prizes, and more. Brought to you by your Raider Nation radio station, the new Ticket 1050.
Drive a little, save a lot. Hayward Dodge's new Durango Land is now open. A new lot filled with rows and rows of just Durangos. Durango. Lease for just $179 a month plus tax or absolutely nothing down. Durango Mania at Hayward Dodge's truck stop and brand new Durango Land. Durango, and more Durangos. Durango Land. Hayward Dodge's Durango Land.
I get paid, I get benefits, and I get training all at the same time.
You could be training in the NECA IBEW Apprentice Program, too.
Apprentices that are in this program learning a trade will earn in excess of $200,000 learning their trade.
While I'm learning, I'm going to be getting excellent pay now, but in the future, on the job training, and at the end of this program, I'm going to make a heck of a lot of pay.
Calling it all the details on how you can train for a well-paid, secure future.
It's definitely a program to get into.
James Stewart, the injured player, walked across the field under his own power, and we'll take a look and see exactly what happened. Very awkward situation.
And you know what happens to him? As Woodson knocks him down, number 50, Eric Barton, comes over and sort of just finishes him off there. Now, it looked like he got the wind knocked out of him, maybe bruised the shoulder, but he'll be okay.
Cedric Urban has replaced him as the remaining back. Tom Zach to throw on third down, and he is right on target for the first down. He goes to Herman Moore. First reception for Herman Moore in the ball game. Anthony Dorsett with the tackle.
Now, that's the first down for the Detroit Lions tonight. The Raider defense has been doing an excellent job of shutting them down, and that was a good play by Herman Moore and Mike Tomczak to pick up the first down. And Herman was hurt a lot last year. Jermaine Crowell took his place and did a great job in Herman's absence.
First down at the 49-yard line. Here's Urban to the far side, turns the corner, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards on the play before Pope gets him.
4th-round draft choice a year ago out of Michigan State. Cedric Irvin is a third cousin of Michael Irvin from the Dallas Cowboys, ex of the Dallas Cowboys. Wanted him to be, the Lions did this year, more of a third down type. But he impressed them so much with his running and his blocking during training camp. He is going to be the true backup to James Stewart this year.
Stewart back in the ball game at tailback. It is 2nd down and 4. And here is Stewart, needs a block at the corner. Good defensive play by Charles Woodson. Would not take the fake and stayed with him all the way.
When you're a great athlete like a Woodson, you can come up in the open field and make it look easy. Look at the balance here on number 24. As he comes up, he keeps himself under control, and he makes the tackle. That's good clinic stuff right there, Charlie, when you make your coaching reel. When you coach that Pop Warner team next year down in San Diego, that's a clinic reel right there on the open field tackle.
Urban back in the ball game. Stewart comes out. 3rd down and 4. Motion wide to the far side with 4 receivers out on the pattern. And it's a first down. Jermaine Crowell on the receiving end. Eric Allen with the stop.
And it's a very difficult pass to stop on 3rd down. A quick out by the inside receiver, Jermaine Crowell, and he caught 81 passes a year ago for, over 800 yards. No, 1,300 yards, I should say. Had a big year in Herman Moore's place.
And he's a big guy, you know. He's 6'3", about 216 pounds. As you see him talk to Jerry Sullivan, the wide receiver coach, Jerry's about 6 foot, but Jermaine's about 3.
Tomczak, a little sidearm throw to Stewart. It'll go to about the 34-yard line, so he'll pick up around 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Grady Jackson with the tackle.
You know, we were talking about big people playing this game. Well, Grady Jackson is a big person. They've got him listed at about 330, 325, but he's more about 340 to me. And the Raiders have a lot of confidence in him because they allowed Russell Maryland to go to free agency to the Green Bay Packers.
Stewart, the remaining back, 2nd down and 6. 4 receivers on the pattern. Tomczak scrambles forward, slides, and is covered at the 31-yard line by Reagan Upshaw. And Tomczak is hurt.
I think Beekert hit him in the head with his helmet as he slid forward.
Detroit, of course, will probably go with Charlie Batch at quarterback if he is healthy enough for the regular season. That's what their plan is, but they can't afford to lose Tomczak either.
Well, I talked to Charlie Batch before the while they were warming up before the game, and he said he was back to practice and he was off the physically unable to perform list, and he's going to be practicing with the team this following week. And Bobby Ross is probably upset because Tomczak slid feet first, and he's not supposed to be touched once he does that.
That's right. He's absolutely right. But boy, he was close to the went down.
Oh yeah, I think that was very, very close.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard once that reaction. Once that reaction starts, it's hard to stop. We'll take another look.
And of all the guys on the field, Greg Beekert is one of the most solid human beings. And Beekert even pulls away right there. I don't think that was intentional at all.
And it was Upshaw coming back, from behind that was grabbing him just as he came back and loosening up on the sidelines very quickly is Stoney Case.
Yeah, Stoney Case now has played in the first 2 preseason games, but he is not off to a good start. He's thrown 13 completions, 23 attempts, no touchdown passes, and no interceptions in the first 2 games. So he has not played well throughout his career or this preseason. Now there's a guy that might be the best quarterback in the Detroit organization, and that's Jim Zorn, the great quarterback in the league. You like him, didn't you, Punk?
Oh, he was a big threat every time he stepped on the field. Gitka and on the sidelines for the entire world to see, and he wound up having to go see a psychiatrist because of it, and it really got to him.
Whoa. Did you see a psychiatrist when you were playing?
Yeah, I had 10 of them in the huddle.
And they're all telling you what to do, or is it?
Always.
Always. Here's Irving. Going for the first down. Needed 3 yards. Grady Jackson with the tackle. And I think he picked it up maybe with about a yard to spare. Let's see where he gets the mark. Yeah, that should be it. No, they're going to wave the... Nope, it is a first down. They waved him on, yes.
And that was an example of number 49, Marcus Pope, coming up and taking a hit as a strong safety. Coming up, gets under balance, and just brings down Irvin. It's an excellent job by Marcus Pope, who shows his tackling ability in the open field as Tomczak gets his leg worked on.
And we have some motion. James Stewart is the remaining back. Stoney Case, now the quarterback.
380 pounds.
No.
Yes. Last year's first-round draft choice out of the University of Wisconsin, the right tackle.
First down, 15. Johnny Morton.
But if Stoney Case wants to make this football team, he's got to complete passes like that. It was certainly catchable, but it should have been a much easier throw for the receiver to handle, a little high and behind him.
Well, it's an inside screen, and the ball goes up, but Morton obviously starts to run, Jim, before he catches the ball, and he's mad at himself. He's not mad at the quarterback that time.
Wide receivers on the set. Case to throw, has pressure. Here's the screen. The middle screen pass is complete to James Stewart. And Stewart just continues to rock and roll. And he is into the end zone for a 32-yard touchdown. And all of a sudden, Detroit might be in the ball game. There's a flag down, but the penalty will be against the Oakland Raiders.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback. Defense, contact to the head of the quarterback. It's a 15-yard touchdown.
Completely clean and just knocked Stoney Case down. That was the perfect call, Jim, against that blitz.
But he knocked him down by going at his head.
Going at his head, right.
You can't do that.
Cannot do that.
The extra point is good by Jason Hansen. And the Oakland Raiders margin now has been cut 13-0 to 13-7. And meanwhile, Tomczak is leaving the field. And not under his own power.
And as I alluded to, he's had some tough years in the National Football League. And, hate to see that happen to him. Hopefully he'll be okay.
And this Detroit franchise
certainly to help his cause.
Calvin Branch is also back. He is about 5 yards up on Dunn. And here's the kick. Pretty good one. 1 yard deep in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 10, 15, straight up the middle. And return to the 17 or 18 yard line. And we have a flag down.
That was a little bit of a pooch kick that time by the Lions because obviously they had the 15 yards.
See Rodney Peete still in at quarterback.
We've got 3:59 time remaining in the fourth, and Rodney Peete stays in the ball game, rolls right with a play action fake, and just kind of scoots out of bounds. That's part of his great strength. He gives the defense a completely new look, and that's one of the advantages that he has as a backup quarterback.
Yes, it is, and he's a smart veteran, and I have been very impressed with his arm strength up at camp. I never thought he had a rocket arm at USC. I never thought when he first came into the league, but being up at camp a great deal, I've been very impressed with the arm strength of Rodney Peete.
Second down and 8. And another flag comes flying in as Gerald Moore is the ball carrier. Down and 18. He comes clean over the middle, passes complete to Marcus Knight.
Pete's pass complete to Marcus
And Detroit has the football. Oakland has coughed up the ball twice in the ball game. Early on a Ricky Dudley fumble. And so all of a sudden Detroit now has an opportunity going into halftime to take the lead 14-13 if they can capitalize on the turnover. Case over the middle into coverage, pass is complete to the 19-yard line.
For that one, the one tonight was he should have protected the ball a little bit better.
Second down and 6. Case looks as if he wanted to throw, but hands off instead to James Stewart. Stewart's been very effective in the ball game, both as a rusher and as a receiver.
He certainly has.
Hard-running guy, 6'1", 225 pounds.
Case hands off to Stewart, the tailback, and this is going to be close. Meanwhile, Kriplovich is going back and forth, trying to, in reality, throw off the defense of the strength of that offensive set.
Even though he looked confused, but he really wasn't. You're going to see him go back and forth. And that's called zip and zoom motion. Everybody calls it a little bit different. But the Detroit Lions run behind that U-100. Again, 380 pounds. You got to go for it here, don't you? Don't you go for it behind that big offensive line?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to go behind him. Look at the size of him, Charlie.
He is. He's from the circus next door. Stewart's the tailback. Quarterback sneak. Just needed an inch, and he'll get it.
Very difficult to stop a quarterback sneak.
Most of the time we go on a snap down.
Yeah. Here's Stewart to the right side. He's to the 10, out of bounds, and a flag comes flying. Elijah Alexander with the tackle. All a really good first quarter, and this
20 on the Lions.
Offense number 62, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first.
Back at the 21-yard line. Two wide receivers and the tight end go out. And the pass is complete to Herman Moore. Moore and the tight end were right together. Was that a misread, Jim?
Well, probably not, but I think they were both running slants, in routes. The first tight end to go in and clear somebody, a linebacker underneath, and then the Herman Moore, the wide receiver, coming in behind it. Hopefully by the tight end coming across first, it opened up that hole, that lane for the quarterback to throw to.
We have a timeout on the field. They're going to reset the game.
Carr or Bo Schembechler to join the staff with all those Wolverines here.
Second down. Here's Stewart to the 10. Heads for the sideline, down the sideline, and into the end zone.
Charlie, you're going to see some great blocking down the field by Herman Moore on this draw play. I thought it was an excellent call because it allows the defense to get up the field. It's a slow developing draw type play. You're going to see Stewart get the ball to the left, but watch the blocking downfield here by Herman Moore. A sensational job by the big wide receiver coming over and blocking Marquez Pope. But this is what you're talking about when you want having a wide receiver down the field to the right of your screen.
And Herman Moore picks up two people on that. 21 first, Eric Allen, and then inside.
And you know, people are congratulating Moore on the sidelines, and they should.
And to break the tie, the extra point by Hansen is good, and the Detroit Lions move on top of the Oakland Raiders by a score of 14-13 with now 49 seconds. Time remaining in the first half.
You know,
here is Dunn, and he's going to run it out from a yard deep, out to the 15 to the 20 to about the 22-yard line.
David Dunn takes the kick return 2 yards deep in the end zone for the Raiders, brought down by number 35, Jimmy Wyrick for Detroit.
Jimmy Wyrick makes the tackle. And so the Raiders probably would just be content to run out the clock with 45 seconds left. Rodney Peete remains in at quarterback.
The offensive line remains the starting.
So Oakland at their own 22-yard line, first down. Gerald Moore. It's close to the first down, about the 32-yard line.
And the Lions lined up in a, quote, prevent defense that time, and the Raiders threw them off by running the ball from the I formation. You know, guys, this is a little bit more of a look with Rodney Peete than we anticipated.
Hurry-up offense, back underneath the coverage. Pass is complete, and going out of bounds to stop the clock is Zach Crockett. Westbrook takes him out.
I don't think so. I think they're going to try to come up with a big play. If not, then just run the clock out.
As the first down, pass is complete at the 47 or the 48-yard line to Jerry Porter, who you talked.
And right now, we don't know exactly what striking distance is with this guy.
That's right. 4 wide receivers. Peete scrambles, has an open run to the sideline. He throws, and it is bobbled incomplete. At about the 40-yard line, this was Porter. I think he was out of bounds also.
I did too, but you still have basically 2 plays left.
Long range, 60, 65 yards if they want to. Make it, could it be the last play of the half?
The ball's going to have to be the outside, though, to stop the clock right away. If it's completed inside, it may run the clock out.
Well, it's thrown outside, but it's incomplete.
But it's incomplete. Boy, this would be a 40, 60, it'd be a 70-yard attempt. So I don't think right now.
But the crowd wants Janikowski, but I don't think John Gruden's going to go for it. And you do too.
Oh, of course. Let's find out.
Something to talk about.
Right. You're right. Here is Hail Mary. And it is incomplete. And with that incomplete, we got 000. That means it is half.
The Lions would have probably been lucky to score one touchdown.
David Dunn and Calvin Branch are the deep backs on the return. And Dunn is going to scoop it up at the 9-yard line, then to the 15, and down around the 17-yard line.
Those squib-type kicks are very difficult sometimes to. That graph is how many yards he rushed for, especially last week against Dallas. He had almost 70 yards rushing last week against the Dallas Cowboys.
Raiders start on their own 18-yard line, first down. Hoying comes out throwing. Pass is complete to Jerry Porter. And Porter will go to the 30-yard line, picks up the first down.
Excuse me, Charlie. That's who the Raiders want to see a lot more of. Jerry Porter, second-round pick out of West Virginia. Really versatile guy, played a lot of different positions at West Virginia. And now he's getting his opportunity to show what he can do as a receiver. He's a big receiver, can break tackles just like he did there. And he's got a tremendous speed, and they want to see a lot more of Jerry Porter.
Taken in the second round of the draft. Now with just a straight shot up the middle is Gerald Moore.
And Gerald Moore, we haven't heard much from tonight, but so far he has been the star this preseason for the Raiders on offense. Coming into the game tonight, he had rushed for 122 yards, had an excellent outing against the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys.
Tracy Scroggins with the tackle for Detroit.
You talk about Moore, he's got a low center of gravity, and he's a passionate runner. He's a guy that's very difficult to bring down.
Moore and Zach Crockett are the split backs. Poing to throw. Has pressure. Gets it away just in time. Pass is complete. Ball comes loose, but are they going to just root it incomplete? It was intended for Gerald Moore.
Bryant Westbrook, the #1 draft choice in 1997 out of Texas and Oceanside, California. A sensational job of delivering a blow to Gerald Moore. Now you see the pressure on Bobby Hoying, and it's a miracle that he even got the ball off. That's a great job by him of throwing the ball out to Moore. Now Moore turns around, in his defense, he just gets clocked as he turns around. It's hard to hold on the balls in those situations.
3rd down and 7. Going to throw again, and it's high, incomplete. Rodney Williams, the intended receiver. Krewald had the coverage, the linebacker on the strong side.
And Rodney Williams had a big game last week against the Dallas Cowboys. He had 5 receptions, led the Raiders in receptions a week ago, but a little high, a little hard to handle from Bobby Hoying.
Shane Leckler is going to kick. And Foster.
Now, you know, the competition is hot and heavy between Leckler and Leo Aragoose. Aragoose is the punter for the Raiders for the last couple of years. Right now, they both average 46 per punt in the preseason.
This is the first kick of the ball game for the Raiders. And Foster is decked immediately by Marquez Pope.
And Pope is an experienced special teams player. Did it for the Niners, did it for the Browns last year, and that was an example of his experience in special teams.
Detroit leads by 1. We'll start for the 24-yard line. Stoney Case remains the quarterback. We'll report on Tom Zach in just a moment, and the pass is incomplete. Herman Moore, he just couldn't bring it in. You heard you got a halftime report on Tom Zach.
Oh, the report I heard was that he had something like a bruised shin, lower leg.
You know, we take a look at Bobby Brooks as one of the defensive surprises this spring. He drops into his zone and just does a great job of reacting up and knocking the ball loose from Herman Moore. Everybody on the Raider organization has been impressed with this young guy's play so far here in camp.
Cedric Urban is the remaining back, and he's the ball carrier. Little side step outside, comes back over the middle to about the 27-yard line. So he's going to pick up around 3. It'll be 3rd down and long, 3rd down and 7. Austin Robbins with the stop for the Oakland Raiders.
You know, here's a situation where a lot of the younger players are getting their opportunity to play down there, showing what they can do in certain situations, and hopefully they'll get a long look by, you know, not only the head coach but their respective coaches' positions as well.
And you look at Gerard Cherry, number 30. You look at Tony Bryant, number 94, and Travion Smith, number 53. Guys that are going to be the future of the Oakland Raider defense.
Case to throw. And it is going to be ruled incomplete.
What a great strip by Calvin Branch, coming over the top and just knocking the ball loose from Crowell, Jermaine Crowell. You're going to see to the left of your screen here, number 27 come over, grab the arm of Crowell, and just rip the ball loose. Defensive back play doesn't get any better than that.
David Dunn is the return man on 4th down. John Jett will be kicking it away. Hasn't had a particularly good night.
Had one blocked last week against Buffalo.
Well, then it's a better night than last week.
Yes,
so far.
it is so far.
So far. Dunn takes it at the 34. Nice move. A nice return. Schlesinger finally gets it, but he sidesteps 2 Lions. Back in a moment.
Drive a little, save a lot. Hayward Dodge's new Durango Land is now open. A lot filled with rows and rows of just Durango, and more Durango. Lease for just $179 a month plus tax or absolutely nothing down. Durango Mania at Hayward Dodge's Truck Stop. Brand new Durango Land. Durango, and more Durango.
Durango Land! Hayward Dodge's Durango Land!
Welcome back. Please get a pen and paper.
Psst. You have an extra pen? Regular or gel ink? Gel. Comfort grip or standard? Comfort. Psst. You have any paper?
Staples has everything you need for back to school.
Bobby?
You have any chalk? Regular or just?
Want low prices? Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
The Raider Experience live. There's no substitute. Be sure you and your friends are there in person to watch every thrilling moment of the Raiders opener against San Diego September 3rd. Operators are standing by right now at 510-762-2277. The Raider Experience live. You gotta be there. Call 510-762-2277 or online at www.tickets.com. Do it right now.
More giant photos.
That's right. Polaroid is making a lot of money tonight. Mike Waffle is showing the defensive linemen the offensive sets and formations used by the Detroit Lions, which are brought down to the field, obviously, at the end of each series. I'm an old chalkboard guy. I'd rather use a chalkboard than a photograph. I'm not sure guys can do all that.
Bobby Hoying, the quarterback. Gerald Moore, Zach Crockett is the upback. Moore is the tailback. He's the ball carrier, and he goes through the 50-yard line. He's going to pick about 8 quick yards on this play.
You know, Gerald Moore, like we talked about before, is very difficult to bring down. And he is another guy that has turned a lot of heads up in Napa with his ability to run the football. You're going to see him here just bury his head and bury his shoulder and literally sneak through the line of scrimmage. Positive yards, 8 yards.
David Dunn comes in for Chris Fontenot. The tight end comes out. Hoying steps forward, throws, has an opening right on target at the 40-yard line. And he goes to David Dunn. Marquise Walker making the tackle for the Lions.
And a good job by Bobby Hoying to step up on the pressure. The two defensive ends came up the field. He was able to step up and wait for David Dunn to come across the field. Good job by Bobby Hoying and a good catch by David Dunn a little behind him.
Quarterbacks moving in the pocket is so important. You see Hoying throw a little bit off balance, but his ability to come forward was the key.
Gerald Moore again. He's going to have a couple of yards underneath all of that pile. DeVries with the stop.
You know, but one of the things they want Gerald Moore to do is possibly be on one of the special teams, because Randy Jordan's a good special teams player. He also runs the ball very well, especially in that short yardage and goal line situation. And if they can spot for Gerald Moore on a special teams, it would increase his chances of making this football team.
Right, because you can only keep 5 or 6 backs, and last year I think the Raiders only kept 5 backs.
Gary Porter comes into the offensive set. 2nd down and 7. Hoying sets, scrambles, has an opening, cuts back, dives to the 30-yard line. He could well pick up the first down. DeVries with the tackle, and he's right at that first down marker.
Yeah, it's amazing, Charlie. I watch this run. They take off for 5, 10, 15, 20 yards at a crack, and when I used to run, 1, 2, 3, 5 yards. It's a little different.
I don't know. It was great with your runs when we play them back in slow motion.
What was your best year for rushing the ball?
I couldn't tell you. Probably at New England, my rookie year.
Really? Did you get 100 yards? 200?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And then you got smart and stopped doing that. They found out they weren't paying you to do that. Hoying fakes, rolls right, has an opening down the sideline and out of bounds to 25-yard line.
And there he goes again. Once again, the Lions did a great job on defense, took away the receivers down the field, and Bobby Hoying, and this really gets the morale down on a defensive unit. They do everything right. They do everything they're supposed to do, but nobody's accounting for the quarterback. He takes off and picks up 5 yards.
But in modern defensive football, you've got to account for the quarterback. If you don't, you're not doing a good job on defense, because almost every quarterback can do that.
Yeah, but you can't account for him. That's the only problem.
Well, you can.
Not in every position, not in every down.
Come on, Punk, a little spy here, a little there.
Fulcher was the man in motion. Here's Moore. He goes through to about the 22-yard line. Stephen Boyd with the tackle.
Charlie, you see how he kind of slips and slides off of would-be tacklers? His low center of gravity makes him very difficult to bring down. You're going to see him here just shift, keeps going, keeps his balance, gets up the field, and looks a little bit like a guy that used to play for the Detroit Lions by the name of Barry Sanders.
3rd and 3. Going to throw. Over the middle, and it is incomplete. David Dunn, the intended receiver, and that means, of course, that Janikowski will come in with a field goal attempt. Marquise Walker had the coverage for Detroit. Janikowski is hit from 37 and 39 yards in the ball game. And this one will be just outside the 30, so it'll be 40 yards.
And Marquise Walker, former Raider, last couple of years.
Shane Leckler is the holder in the second half. Rich Gannon was the holder in the first half. And he should have it.
Well, this guy's automatic.
40 yards away. The Raiders retake the lead, 16-14.
This world-class event is a winner. Toyota's 2000 clearance. Big selection of new Toyotas and big clearance values. Are you ready to go for it? Right now, go for a 2000 Tacoma 4x2 or a 2000 Pre-Runner and get $500 cash back. Get to this world-class clearance event now at your Toyota dealer.
I get paid, I get benefits, and I get training all at the same time.
Could be training in the NECA IBEW apprentice program too.
Apprentices that are in this program learning a trade will earn in excess of $200,000 while they're learning their trade.
While I'm learning, I'm going to be getting excellent pay now, but in the future, on-the-job training, and at the end of this program, I'm going to make a heck of a lot of pay.
Calling it all the details on how you can train for a well-paid, secure future.
It's definitely a program to get into.
Decided by 3 points or less. You think that wasn't a great draft choice to get this guy on this football team? How can anybody question that?
The only thing that he needs to do, which he has been a disappointment in, is his kickoff. He has only one touchback in this ball game and one touchback last week, and this one is going to go only to the 7-yard line. Here's Foster on the return again. And Foster will be down around the 25-yard line.
It almost seems like his field goals are a kick longer than his kickoffs.
Well, why doesn't he get a holder out there then for the kickoff?
Get a holder, take 2 steps and do it.
Remember one thing, though, guys. Sometimes on kickoffs, special teams coaches employ a strategy in terms of placement of the ball, which allows your coverage people to know where the ball is. And at times, that decreases the distance of the kick.
But I don't really think that's been the case.
Well, it sounds good, though. I thought it sounded pretty academic myself.
I don't know. I was at practice last week when he wasn't kicking him in the end zone.
This is supposed to be a Raider spin now.
Meanwhile, Cedric Urban with a defensive spin by the Raiders and stopped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
No, but you're right. He'll get those kickoffs.
I'm sure he will. I don't have any doubt about it in my mind.
Well, also you mentioned last week that in training camp, which has been going on what, 6 or 8 weeks or whatever, right, they're kicking all the time.
Yeah, they're kicking. They're a little weary as we look at the black hole, which is similar to the dog pound in Cleveland for the Raiders.
This pass is complete. Stoney Case going to an automatic as he calls the audible. Roan, the intended receiver, he misses him wide and high.
And Stoney Case saw the blitz coming. He audible to an up route and was well executed, but also well covered by the Raiders.
Johnny Harris coming off the corner on a corner blitz. One thing that Chuck Bresnahan, the defensive coordinator, is doing this year, as we take a look at Bobby Ross there, Chuck Bresnahan is not hesitant to bring the blitz in any situation.
Second down and 15. Case to throw, has pressure. Here's that middle screen. Pass is complete to Schlesinger. And again, the defense was there.
And that's a little bit different scenario with Schlesinger catching that little screen pass than James Stewart taking it 32 yards for a score.
Yeah, the difference is Schlesinger's 250 pounds, and he's not going to be able to motor down the field like Stewart is. And I agree with you, Jim. Why would you throw the ball to him? This guy is a gib. He's a guard in the backfield. He's not going to be able to take the ball up the field.
It ends up losing a yard to the 30. It's third down and 16. 3 wide receivers on the set. Urban, the remaining back. Case with good protection goes downfield, almost intercepted. Travian Smith almost woulda, shoulda, coulda.
I'm delighted for Travian Smith on that play. Did a great job of covering Johnson. As you look to the right of your screen, Johnson's running a vertical pattern, a tight end seam as we call it in coaching, and Travian took him right up the seam, turned around, and could have had the interception. Travian has been frustrated during camp, but that's an excellent play for him.
You see his hands with all the tape and gloves?
Well, that's
no
why he
wonder
probably couldn't catch it. Yeah.
David Dunn is the return man. John Jett with the kick out of bounds. All right, we'll step aside. We'll be back in a moment.
I love the personalities. I love the type of news that they give.
It's a great site.
It's a great site.
Tons of information.
Too much information.
Nah, never too much. Never too much.
Going deep down the far side, has a man, and he hits it down the sidelines and out of bounds. And it is number 1, Jerry Porter. He got behind Marquise Walker.
And as excited as people are about Sebastian Janikowski, everybody's as excited about Jerry Porter. As you see him run a fade pattern down the left sidelines or the right sidelines, the ball is thrown perfectly. He catches the ball over the shoulder.
And that's something the Raiders wanted to see, get a good look of Jerry Porter, and of course, as pumped up as can be.
38 yards on the play. First down at the 22. Now back to the ground. Here's Randy Jordan. Inside the 20.
The preseason is for a lot of areas. You try to get a lot accomplished. But one thing you want to do is test your draft choices in game situations. And I think number 1 and number 11 are passing the tests.
And as Gruden, Jerry Porter played a lot of different positions at West Virginia. And you know, he's a very raw, untested talent at wide receiver. Hasn't played that much wide receiver. He's got a lot to learn, but this is a start for him.
If he would have went to USC when I was there, he would have been a strong safety. I'll tell you that. Not a wide receiver. He's too big and good looking.
Boeing sets up the screen. Pass is complete. Defense reads it well. Randy Jordan on the receiving end. Supernon. Kywin Supernaw.
Almost Superman on that. He
Yeah.
did an excellent job of coming up and reading it. And defensive backs, you know, you're backing off into deep half or deep third. You read a screen, you commit to the run. The third-year guy out of Indiana does an excellent job of impressing his Detroit Lion coaches.
Spot the ball at about the 21-yard line. Lose a couple on the play.
You know, you take a look at John. Look at that game plan there. Look at all the stuff on his game plan. It's amazing. All the colors and the different calls you make in different situations. And you got to color code it or else you can't read it.
Corwin Brown, number 44 for Detroit, was talking with the officials. Here's the
Ineligible downfield by the offense. The penalty is declined.
Here comes the blitz. Pass is complete to the 5-yard line. David Dunn pulls it in. Walker pulls him down. And that's the first time they've converted in the last 6 attempts. They missed 5 in a row on third down after completing the first 4 on third down conversions.
And
now they're at the 5-yard line.
And give credit to the offensive line for picking up the blitz, Bobby Hoying for throwing it accurately, and for David Dunn to concentrate.
Traffic.
5-yard line. First down goal to go. Play action fake. Hoying on a bootleg is running for the corner, and he's got it. Bobby Hoying scoring the touchdown.
And Bobby Hoying had the option on that to run or pass. It was two tight ends lined up on one side. It was bootleg to the two tight ends. You're going to see Hoying go to the top of your screen here, but obviously the perimeter gets caved in, and he literally can walk into the end zone. Excellent design by the offensive coaches, and obviously the proper execution by the quarterback.
And the extra point is good. And so the Raiders coming back in the second half. They lead 23-14. Man is Ty Tall. In his second year, played his collegiate ball at Northern Iowa.
Home of Kenny Shedd.
And it's going to be taken at the 13-yard line on the return. Now to the 30, 35, and down. And there is a look at Bobby Hoying, who scored the touchdown. Marquise Walker.
It's very important for some of these Raider defenders now to impress the coaches, because as we've talked about, the first cut down is on Tuesday. As you look in the huddle, a lot of these guys are what they call on the bubble, meaning if they have a good game, they're going to continue to be on the Raider roster. But if they don't, somebody's going to have to get cut on Tuesday.
First down, 35-yard line. Stoney Case. Faking, coming back, throwing deep over the middle. Pass is complete to the Oakland 45-yard line to Andre Roan. Torrey James with the tackle.
And that was very well executed by the Lions that time. Good play action, fake. Stoney Case stood in there and drilled it to Andre Roan.
And when you have that much time, doesn't matter what coverage you're in, it's easier for a receiver, obviously, to find a seam and come clean. And that's what happened that time with Rome. Raiders were in man-to-man.
Urban, the remaining back. Urban, the ball carrier. He's going to lose a yard. From the 45 out to the 46, William Thomas with the stop.
Take a look at Chuck Bresnahan there on the sidelines. Chuck, as we've mentioned before, in his first year as being the defensive coordinator here for the Raiders, gives a signal. Young, 39 years old. In fact, he coached for Bobby Ross at Georgia Tech in the late 80s. So he's got some familiarity with the head coach from the Detroit Lions.
Second and 11. Case to Urban again. Jumps to the outside. And he'll go just inside the 40-yard line. Darian Gordon making the tackle.
A good pressure by Austin Robbins. Almost had him in the backfield, but he was able to slip the tackle and pick up 5 yards.
You know, Austin Robbins has done a good job in the first two preseason games. Number 95, a veteran, 7-year veteran out of North Carolina, works his way up the field, but just can't hang on. Darian Gordon comes across, number 23, to hit. But Austin Robbins has done an excellent job so far in an effort to make this football team.
3 wide receivers, third down and 5. Case to throw. It's incomplete. Alonzo Johnson, the intended receiver. Gordon with the coverage.
And Josh Taves up the field, putting pressure on the quarterback, making him throw it much sooner than he wanted to.
You're going to see the pressure here. Now, 99 is Josh Taves. Number 90 is Jamal Duff. You don't get incompletes without great pressure. Now, you're going to see the guy from Stanford, number 23, Darian Gordon, do an excellent job of keeping leverage, getting his hips around, and blanket Rome.
Awamzake is the return man for the pooch kick. And he signaled for a fair catch and fakes it, and the ball bounces at the 5 and kicks back to about the 8 or 9 where it is down.
In case our listeners aren't familiar with him, Ahani Awizike just was signed this week by the Raiders in training camp with the injury to Terry Mickens. Awizike played at the University of California, played for the Niners a couple of years ago. In fact, this winter was on the roster of the Detroit Lions.
Scott Kowalkowski down the ball for Detroit at the 9-yard line.
Take a look at Ahani. Excellent student from the University of California. And I'll bet you can't pronounce his last name 5 times fast.
No.
And you're not going to try, are
you? I'm going to try once fast. So Oakland starts deep in their own territory, leading 23-14. Just over a minute to go in the third. And they'll come back on the ground with Gerald Moore. And Moore continues to run well in preseason. He comes out to the 21-yard line and picks up the first down.
You know, I think you're seeing a lot of good things by this Raider offense. No matter who seems to be in there on the offensive line, they're in the backfield. They're able to move the ball down the field. And one of the things that happened last year when they won Kansas City, literally they had 4 out of the 5 starters out of the offensive lineup in that game because of injuries, and yet they were able to score 45, 48 points and beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City.
Tywin Supernaw with the tackle for Detroit. Here's Moore again. He'll lose yardage on this one. Good defensive play.
Yeah, just an excellent defensive play that time of getting up the field.
James Hall makes the play for Detroit. And that should take the countdown to the end of the third quarter.
James, another rookie free agent, this time with the Lions from the University of Michigan. Boy, with all these guys playing tonight, you wonder how Michigan ever lost the game.
You're right.
A lot of Michigan guys on the field.
Into the third. Oakland leads it 23-14.
Coordinator and the offensive line coach. And the guy to the left up there is veteran Jim Erkenbeck, who coaches the tight ends, helps with the running game, and helps with the line. He's also done a tremendous job with this group.
Going back, flag is down. Runs right, scrambles, pass is complete. We'll end up bringing it back, though. It's David Dunn on the receiving end, a holding call against the Raiders.
All in all, we'll break down the offensive line, although we're
just talking about him.
That's why it happens, yes. But still a good job of Hoying to get outside.
Offense number 73, half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
Daryl Ashmore.
And finding David on the field.
You're going to see Ashmore. He's the right tackle here. He just gets his hands on the defender who rushes inside. And that was the correct call that time by the official, because the defensive end went inside and Daryl just grabbed him.
You know, if Daryl had a little more presence, so knew where Bobby Hoying was going, he wouldn't have had to have done that.
So we blame that on the quarterback or the offensive lineman?
Don't blame it on anybody.
No, but it was Paul Spicer going underneath in a stunt, and Ashmore just grabbed him when he went underneath.
Hoying has completed 5 of 8 for 81 yards. Here's Randy Jordan running with power and speed and to the outside. Continues to be impressive. Ty Talton with a tackle.
And you know, one thing about these Raider players, and I think it's something that John Gruden started instilling 3 years ago when he came to the Raiders, is their effort, their desire out there. I mean, these guys all want to play football for, John Gruden and the Oakland Raiders. I mean, they're doing a great job.
And they're doing a great job of wearing down the defense and being physical and continuing physical in the fourth quarter and at the end of the game. That's where you win games.
Jordan, of course, scored the opening touchdown. Going to throw, has pressure again, steps forward, out of it, scrambles. Another flag is down, and Hoying is down shy of the 30-yard line.
And we're getting pointed against the Raiders. Another hold against the Raiders.
But it's fourth down. They may decline the. They're going to take it.
Holding, offense number 64, 10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Gennaro DiNapoli, a third-year man out of Virginia Tech, 6'3", about 300 pounds, reminds Raider fans of George Bueller. Very short, very stocky type guy. In fact, he was telling us he wanted to be on The Sopranos. And with a name like that, he would qualify for it. I don't know what kind of actor he is, but he would qualify for it. He even looks like a guy that should be on The Sopranos. Casting call, and he wanted to go to the thing.
Your first choice is right. They refused the penalty. Right. It'll be fourth down.
Take the ball when you can.
Leo Aragus, his first punt of the ball game, is second for the Raiders. Andre Rowan is the return man, number 14.
Looks like the Lions, Charlie, are going to come after this punt. They've tightened down with 8 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Aragus gets a beauty. Taken back at the 10-yard line. May have out covered. That's the best punt we've seen in preseason by Leo Aragus. We'll be back in a moment. the middle of October.
And that should be a big advantage for the Raiders, getting to play at home, going across the bay to San Francisco. Hopefully they can get off to a good, hard, fast start.
First down, Detroit. Case hands off to Schlesinger. Now let's go down to George Atkinson. George? Go, George.
Thank you, Charlie. I have with me one of the hardest hitting safeties in Raider history, and that's Jack Tatum. Jack, you watched the secondary. Give me your impressions of the safeties for this year.
I've been watching the safety, and I think the safeties are coming along pretty good. They got 4 guys that could possibly step up, and it just depends on how well they come along and learn to read all the plays.
Well, now, who are the guys that stick out in your mind or play that Tatum-type football?
Well, the guy that really sticks out right now is Dorsett. He's a guy, and he's got a lot of movement. He can get to the ball a little quick, but the thing that I see is he's a little sluggish. He's learning the position, but I think once he learns the position, he'll be a real keeper.
Well, thank you. Charlie, back to you.
All right, thank you, George. Thank you, Jack. Meanwhile, a face mask personal foul call against the Raiders. The ball goes out to the Detroit 45-yard line. Lions have a first down, and there is Dorsett and Cherry, the safeties.
Rod Cherry, a free agent signee from the New Orleans Saints this winter. Little
and
movement.
we've got flags and whistles.
Looks like a little movement, Charlie, in the offensive set of the Detroit Lions. You know, going back to Rod Cherry, he returned to Cal this off-season and got his master's degree. Just a great young guy and does a lot of wonderful things for people off the field as well as on the field. One of the most intelligent, determined players I ever coached. I coached him at Cal. I think settling in the strong safety position has really helped him because at New Orleans, he was a free safety, a strong safety, and a corner. Too many positions.
First down 15. Irvin slips a tackle, slides for a couple of yards on the play, and that's going to be it. So it'll be second down.
William Thomas misses the tackle. He's a 10-year vet out of Texas A&M, and he missed Cedric Irvin. But going back to William Thomas, you know, he's a time Pro Bowler for the Philadelphia Eagles as you see him come up the field. He started 129 games for the Eagles. A lot of people think he's going to make this team as at the minimum a backup outside linebacker. He's a guy with a lot of experience.
Duff with the tackle. Here's the play action fake. Rolling left, setting, throwing, turning, incomplete. Flag is down to the 41-yard line. Roan, the intended receiver.
You know, during the preseason, very typical. Late gets a little sloppy. They're a little tired. People haven't played together very much. And throws things off.
It's number 90, 5-yard penalty. First down.
My question to both of you guys, why do the officials throw the flag so much at the end of preseason games when they know it's going to be a little sloppy?
Because it's preseason for them also.
Yeah, they're
working on their job, which is their look for the infraction. And it has to be an automatic reaction.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why do you think announcers season? We need it too.
We need it too. Everybody needs it.
Everybody needs it.
I just think they overdo it sometimes in preseason. I understand the logic, though.
Corey Schlesinger, the ball carrier. Travian Smith with the tackle.
Travian Smith, a guy out of the University of Oklahoma, third-year man, is an outside linebacker. Sometimes he rushes the passer from a defensive end standpoint. You'll see him to the left of your screen, number 53, step up on the blocker, come off, and make the play. Now that is going to make Chuck Bresnahan very happy to see that type of linebacker play at a Travian Smith.
Schlesinger takes the pitch, but he'll end up losing a couple of yards back to the 45-yard line. So it's going to be third down and around 12 yards to go for the first down.
Charlie, going back to Travian, he was the 200-meter champion in high school from Tatum, Texas. And I did an Oklahoma game 3 years ago, and he was returning kickoffs for the University of Oklahoma. That's what kind of athlete he is and the kind of speed that he's got.
Tony Case, the quarterback, 3 wide receivers on the set. Four-man rush. Case scrambles up the middle. Brought down at around the 49-yard line of the Raiders. It'll be fourth down. Austin Robbins had a piece of the play.
And Stoney Case was
Josh
about to run.
Go ahead.
Stoney Case was about to pick up some yards on the ground, ran into his own lineman, number 62, Troy Semple, and got knocked down.
And Semple was just standing there, right?
Yeah. And you know what? That's great hustle by Josh Taves. And he's a guy that was in camp a year ago. He's really, really hustled and played hard. And he's got a chance to make this football team. 6'7", about 280 pounds, a second-year guy out of Northeastern up in Boston. And, you know, tonight he got a chance to play with the first team because Lance Johnstone did not suit up, and he's taking advantage of that opportunity.
Don't do it, Elvis.
You know, I don't like those sideburns, though.
No, I tell you what, though, we had a momentary delay. They brought the K-ball in for the punch. You know, they have to have that with special footballs. Awazake is the return man. Short kind of pooch kick, fair catch call for him, taken around the 19-yard line. So we'll step aside. We have just over 10 minutes left in the ball game, and the Raiders lead it 23-14.
True when he signed here this offseason.
Jabari Jackson and Anthony White are the running backs. Point comes out throwing. He goes to Marcus Knight. Let's go down to George. George?
Yeah, Charlie, Gerard Cherry just came off the field, and what happened was he had a hyperextended knee, and he seems to be okay. He's coming around. They're going to let him walk it off, and I think he may be done for tonight, though. Back to you,
Good.
Charlie.
Thank you, George. Right. Spot the ball at the 25-yard line, 2nd down and 4. Going with the handoff and then the fake of the reverse tonight. The give was to Anthony White, free agent from Kentucky. And the clock continues on its inexorable march.
Anthony White's another guy that turned some heads up in Napa. And by the way, the Raiders this past Wednesday from their Napa training facility. But Anthony White's a guy, he was a free agent from Kentucky, starred in that run-and-gun offense at the University of Kentucky, and has really impressed the coaches up in Napa with his running and blocking abilities.
3rd down and 1. Anthony White again. Meanwhile, a wrestling match taking place on the near side. Very involved in that, I believe, with Jimmy Wyrick.
You know, next week they have their last game against Seattle here at home at the Networks Associates Coliseum, and Gruden's approach is going to be like the regular season. He's going to have regular practices, meetings, just like he was getting ready for the opening day.
Yeah, and the problem is, not the problem, but one of the things he's got to consider is the game is on Thursday, so I think he's going to start Sunday, Jim, like that's the regular game week. So I think Sunday is Monday, you know,
right,
in terms of the season.
Make adjustments.
Right.
Shane Leckler with the kick. He's got a good one. Leo last kick was 61 yards, and a fair catch is called for by Andre Roan. We have a timeout. 8 minutes and 9 seconds left in the Coliseum.
Hopkins Honda in Sunnyvale is a done deal. Construction of one of the most advanced Honda dealerships in the country.
NFL experience, a little more deliberate, a little slower, but that powerful high leg kick. That is a very hard decision that the coaches are going to have to make.
Leckler's punt, 51 yards. They are close, aren't they?
Yeah.
They really are.
Boy, you could flip a coin on that one and be right.
Corey Sauter is now the quarterback for Detroit. His first appearance in the ball game. He fakes, sets the screen, and it is incomplete. I think it was a pretty good decision. I believe he was just throwing the ball away because the screen was pretty well saturated.
But boy, he's got to throw a little bit further out, I think, because that you know, could be tipped or picked off. But good pressure on Corey Sauter, and he's, you know, second-year man out of the University of Minnesota.
He's had a tough preseason so far, and again, he's never played in a real NFL game, so obviously it's not that easy.
And when he comes in, he's always put in situations like this where they're behind.
And that's the starting quarterback right in the middle.
Yeah,
without the cap. That's Charlie Batch. Sauter sets and throws, passes complete to Roan.
You know, going back to Charlie Batch, this Lion franchise has been jinxed last 2 summers. You lose Barry Sanders a year ago. This guy gets hurt in a mini camp. He is the quarterback of the future for the Detroit Lions. In fact, when he was a rookie coming out of Eastern Michigan, he tied an NFL record, Charlie, by throwing 136 straight passes without a interception.
And his first touchdown pass in '98 was a 98-yarder to Johnny Morton.
So he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And they think he'll be back and ready to go at the beginning of the season in a couple of weeks. Here's kind of plodding his way and carrying the Detroit Lions to a first down. Abdul Salam Noah.
Bobby Ross, a very serious man who we talked about before. Took the San Diego Chargers to the Super Bowl, left the Chargers in his 4th year here at the Detroit Lions. Been to the playoffs 2 of those 3 years. No nonsense type approach to football. Almost a militaristic type approach.
I really like him.
And a good guy.
First down at the 35. Pass is complete to Roan on the far side.
Yeah, and one of the things that Bobby Ross obviously had to overcome was Barry Sanders going into retirement. I mean, that caught everybody by surprise. It was probably 70% of that Detroit Lions offense, and all of a sudden one of the all-pros, perennial all-pros in the NFL is gone, and Bobby Ross has got a way. We've got to find a way to make up for it.
And with Barry, they were not outrushed many times. In fact, last year, they only averaged 77 yards rushing as a football team, whereas with Barry 2 years ago, it was 154 yards per game. So he is missed in this franchise. In fact, I always thought he was the staple of this franchise. When you thought about the Lions, you thought about Barry Sanders.
But they've always had good receivers. I'm surprised why they didn't win a lot more with Herman Moore and Johnny Morton. I mean, you know, offensively, they were loaded.
And at one did do a good job of throwing the ball around, and they complemented it with the running game of a Barry Sanders. But obviously, since he left, and Herman Moore on the right there, number 84, was hurt a little bit last year, so things have never kind of gotten back into sync.
First down at the 45-yard line. Play action fake. Going deep, and he will overthrow. And they put a flag down. Oh, I'm not sure that was catchable.
It looked like he overthrew him.
Oh, yeah. Damian Dodson, the intended receiver. Corey Blackwell had the coverage.
You know, that's what I was talking about before. I mean, that is, to me, an unnecessary flag. Don't you think, Jim?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to catch it first.
Yeah. I mean,
and there's no way I don't think he could have gotten to it. No. And another thing, it showed that Corey Suter can throw the ball a long way. Oh, yeah. That was a long toss by Corey Suter.
And you know what? Corey Blackwell, that is excellent coverage.
Because the pass was untouchable.
And
second down.
See, Charlie, all they have to do is ask us. And, you know, that's all they have to do.
Oh, yeah, because we're, in preseason, 10 for 10.
Bobby Ross not happy about it, but that was the correct call.
That was the correct call.
Yes. Boy, Corey Blackwell trying real hard. Second-year guy at the University of Massachusetts. Makes a tremendous play and good coverage. Jeez, give him a break. There's Blackwell, 38.
Spot the ball, Detroit 45-yard line. Second down and 10. Sauter play action fake and runs right into trouble. The ball pops loose. I think they're going to rule it down. Scooting into the end zone. Roderick Coleman made the original hit. Eric Johnson, the free agent from Nebraska, came up with it.
He called it grounding against Sauter. That was a tremendous job by Coleman coming up the field and delivering a blow to the quarterback.
Well, one of the great things about that play was Roderick Coleman held his ground. Yep. You know, he didn't get faked by the play action to the right. He stayed at home.
Yep, it was.
The quarterback in the offense. Yeah. The ball's placed at the spot of the foul. Loss him down.
And Roderick was playing the right defensive end spot there, and he stunts and he comes almost literally untouched. Here's a versatile guy that's played linebacker and defensive tackle.
Intentional grounding. It was a pass, so it was an incomplete pass on an intentional grounding call. So the play was over. And it's a loss of down.
I thought he knocked it loose from him now. But
31-yard line. 3rd and 24.
That's when the quarterback gets over the sideline and gets absolutely no help.
Coach says you call it.
Sauter goes deep to the far side and almost intercepted. Flag is down. Alonzo Johnson, the intended receiver, and Brandon Jennings almost pulled it off, and a flag comes down.
Well, I got to see a replay on that one because that looked pretty good coverage to me again.
Unless he was holding him or touching him down the field, he turned around just as the ball got. It was a great play.
Defense, number 39, automatic first down.
I disagree because he has position on him.
Turns around. They bump a little bit, but they both bump.
Yeah, they both. Charlie being an old.
He's got a chance for the. He's playing the ball.
He's making a play for the ball.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Being an old defensive coach, that was tremendous coverage. And Chuck Bresnan is not angry because he knows it was good coverage.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about with these officials. You can't take the game away from the players.
Schlesinger. And now we have another flag. This could well be a personal foul.
Thing is, you're on the bottom of the pile, Schlesinger, and the guys are fighting above you and not letting you up.
It'll go against Detroit.
Now Bobby Ross wants to find out what it is.
But I tell you, Coach Gruden has brought a lot of discipline to this football team.
And Bobby Ross is a disciplined coach, too, and he is not going to be happy about the infractions here at the end of the game.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense, number 76, unnecessary roughing. 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Called him Barrett Brooks.
Charlie, I always broke penalties down into two categories: aggressive fouls and ignorant fouls. Personal fouls like this, you're going to see 76 on the right here. This is an ignorant foul. You don't do stupid things like that. That is just dumb.
There's no need for it.
No, that's what I mean. It's an ignorant foul that costs your team. If that was just an aggressive foul, that's one thing. Like the pass interferences, they were aggressive fouls, even though I thought there were no fouls. So that's an ignorant foul. Drive me crazy.
The ball back now to the Detroit 49-yard line. A moment ago was at the Oakland 34. First down and 27. Urban, the remaining back. Four-man rush. Urban on the receiving end. Underneath the coverage. He's going to pick up about 17 yards on that play. Coleman with the tackle. It'll be second down and around 10. Nice play.
You know, talking about, offensive linemen making a dumb play like that and causing your team to lose 20 yards on any given play. Sometimes the quarterback has to sit down and talk to those guys, tell them to keep their hands in, their tempers down, while you try to run a smooth offense.
And that was a smoothly executed play on a screen.
Very.
And a good call in that situation.
Second down. Austin Robbins with the stop.
And
Cedric Urban again.
And it's awful noisy in here, and the Raiders are used to the noise because up at Napa at the practice facility, they pump in noise in team situations so the younger players, and especially the quarterbacks, and especially the defensive linemen, so they don't jump off sides, get used to the noise. And you see here, excellent swarm by a bunch of guys in black Raider jerseys.
Urban again. Good defensive play.
Number 53, Travian Smith again on a big defensive play. And you're right, Charlie. And Travian Smith is making the coaches notice him as a linebacker.
And this is a draw play. I'd usually question it on 3rd down and 8 yards to go, but it's it's really 4-down territory. But it looks like they're going to come in and kick a field goal anyway.
From the 36-yard line, an attempt to 46.
Hansen had a 50-yarder last week against Buffalo with 5 minutes to go in the game. That was the winning margin.
And he's the second all-time leading scorer for the Detroit Lions.
High snap, but it's brought down, and it's a good kick. It is good from 46 yards away. And the Lions add 3 to their total.
Great job by John Jett, the holder.
23-17. Good judge.
Introducing a dynamic breakthrough in office technology, the Ricoh e-cabinet. Don't let its calm exterior fool you. Inside its smart soft.
Guys, onside kick or kick it deep?
Onside.
Kick it deep.
Kick it deep.
Hey, Artie's 2-0 tonight.
David Dunn.
On a run, yeah.
20-yard line. Lamont Evans with a tackle for the Lions. Interesting what you said, though, while we were away, is they might want to try the onside kick just to practice it under game condition. Whereas in a game, Jim said, they probably would just kick it deep and let their defense hold them.
And sometimes that depends on who they're playing, whether or not they feel they can stop them, or try an onside kick, especially if it's a little less than 2:46 to go when they kicked off.
And also, they both have 3 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, which is probably why they decided to kick the ball off. And either way, you can't knock the decision.
Hoying hands off to Anthony White. Stopped at the 21-yard line. Detroit takes their first time out of the second half. Richard Jordan with the tackle for the Lions. The 30-second timeout. 2:33 the time remaining.
And coaches call this take away and keep away. Obviously the Raiders want to keep the ball away from the Lions and keep the clock running. And on the other side of the field, the Lions want to stop the clock and take the ball away from the Raiders. Hard to practice because you don't tackle in practice. It's a great learning situation for coaches and players.
And remember the score, 23-17,
right.
The margin, 6 points.
Right.
It's got to be a touchdown.
It's got to be a touchdown and an extra point.
Yep.
And then Gruden's got, thinking about, do I run the ball and take the chance of them stopping us, or do I put the ball in the air and try to get that first down?
But if you're the Lions here, what you're going to do, if the ball is in play and the clock is running, you're going to call your second timeout.
That's your next one, the 2-minute mark.
Absolutely.
Anthony White.
Timeout.
Down at the 25-yard line. Yep.
But a good job by Anthony White, although being a rookie, he kept the ball inbounds. It didn't stop the clock that way. Forced them to take another timeout.
James Hall with the tackle.
Timeout, Detroit. That's their second charge.
Al Davis looking on. The conference, John Gruden and Bobby Hoying.
Down conversions, started out 4 for 4 and slipped a little bit here at the end.
3rd down and 6. Hoying on the move, and he's in trouble. And will be dropped back at the 15-yard line.
And that reminds me, number 60 of Al Bubba Baker, the all-time leading defensive player for the Detroit Lions. Number
Paul
60
Spicer.
And he almost played like Bubba Baker on that play.
That was a smart play, didn't you, Jim, by Hoying? Staying in bounds, not throwing the ball down the field, letting the clock continue to tick.
Well, from that standpoint, it was going to tick anyway.
Right.
But
2-minute warning. So we have 2 minutes left. Raiders lead it 23-17. They'll be kicking the ball to the Detroit Lions.
But I also think Coach Gruden put him in there because of his experience in this situation.
But I mean, hey.
No, it was his turn. It was his turn.
Okay, but you still want to get it off and do a good job, which he does.
Take it. 36-yard line, returns to the 45-yard line of the Raiders. Andre Rohn. Adam True, who is a tight end, 38 yards, but it was high. Good hang time, good coverage time. Urban, the remaining back. Quick drop, and it is incomplete. Dodson, the intended receiver. Did it draw the flag? Yes, there's a flag at the 37-yard line. And he had a fistful of jerseys. First down. 5-yard penalty.
Raiders
intercepted. Eric Johnson with the interception. And that could wrap up the ball game for Oakland. The free agent from Nebraska.
And I like the call by Chuck Bresnahan because instead of playing in a prevent defense, he came after Detroit with the blitz. You're going to see the line. Bobby Brooks comes up inside, and obviously because he can run around and cover people, but he's a tough guy that's going to be, I think, a very good special teams player if he does make this team.
First turnover by the Detroit Lions, and now the Raiders, they'll simply run out the clock.
We haven't mentioned, but there are going to be a lot of players that don't make this team are still pretty good players.
And they're going to play somewhere else.
Right, they're going to be picked up somewhere on the waiver wire or signed by somebody else, exactly. And it's not that they can't play, but you only have room for so many players.
And I think a perfect situation is the two punters. You've got two really good punters in Shane Leckler and Leo Aragus.
And you got two good kickers in Joe Nedney and Sebastian Janikowski. Now, Nedney obviously hasn't gotten the chance this preseason because everybody wants to look at Janikowski. But he ain't bad now, as they say.
Nope, not bad at all. They've looked good in training camp. And other teams know it. They know what's going on in everybody's training camp. They know who's looked good. So there'll be opportunities for them.
You look at Eric Johnson there, number 41. He's a linebacker at Nebraska. They call him Crazy J. And the reason they call him Crazy J, because he plays with such a passion. At Nebraska last year, he scored 5 defensive touchdowns on interceptions and fumble recoveries.
And one more kneel down should do it. And so the Oakland Raiders off to a start. They led at the end of the first quarter 7-0. Detroit came back in the second period to take the lead at halftime 14-3. And then the Raiders again dominating a quarter as they did in the third, 23-14. And then hanging on in the fourth as the Detroit Lions picked up only the field goal to make the final Oakland 23, Detroit 17. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a moment.